That is full of old news, if you think about it.
This was not a choice of which American to bring home.
Republicans in Congress have decided that they rather fight against the health and well-being of our troops than protecting them.
Oh, the military is getting rid of their vaccine mandate. Brittany Griner has been released from Russia. The Hunter Biden FBI laptop story. Holy cow, there's a lot to get to today. San Francisco trans UBI. There's a lot. Got to get to it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Daily Call Live starts right now.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from a swanky downtown hotel in San Diego, California. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is December 8th, 2022, the year of our Lord. Wow, lots going on today that we got to get to. I'm in San Diego. If you didn't know this, I'm filling in for Dan Ball on OAN, the primetime show over there, Real America. So I've been doing that for the last couple days and still here doing it today and tomorrow, but you can catch it on OAN, One American News Network at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Anyways, all that to be said, let's get to the news of the day that literally everybody's going to be talking about. And that is Brittany Griner, the WNBA basketball star, has been released from Russia, which has some mixed feelings among a lot of different people. Now, here's what I'll say at the very, very onset of this. I am pro-Americans, regardless of whether or not I disagree with their policy, regardless if I think it's ridiculous that they don't stand for the national anthem when they're playing their stupid game, regardless of all those things, I don't want Brittany Griner to be stuck in Russia, right? I don't want Americans to be detained abroad, unless, of course, they did something completely abhorrent abroad, in which case, that's just the laws of the land and you've got to follow those. There's an argument to be made that Brittany Griner is one of those people, but I don't know, it was very, very rough and long sentence for what she did, and I don't want her to be in a Russian prison, okay? There's that. Having said that, how she was received back to the United States, and I believe she's still on a plane now, this is breaking very, very early this morning. I don't think she's back in the United States yet. But considering the trade proposal and the conditions under which she was released, there's a little bit of some interesting stuff going on there. So if you didn't know, the Russian Foreign Ministry has traded Brittany Griner. This is from Reuters. Brittany Griner, for Russian citizen and former arms dealer Viktor Bot. The swap took place at Dubai Airport in the United Arab Emirates. So we flew that guy over there, and they flew Brittany Griner to there also. And that is, I think, where the biggest kind of point of contention is. Like I said, I don't want any American, whether it's Brittany Griner, Colin Kaepernick, name your other America-hating citizen, right? I don't want them in prison abroad. Having said that, it's got to make sure that we're doing what's best for the American people. This guy, Viktor Bot, is the guy who was traded for Brittany Griner. He's 55 years old, and before he was captured, was one of the world's most wanted men. And was variously dubbed the Merchant of Death and the Sanctions Buster for his ability to get around arms embargoes. So he was a world-renowned arms dealer, Russian arms dealer, who, was called the Merchant of Death. That's who we traded for a WNBA star. Again, I'm excited. I'm happy that I'm happy for her and her family that she's gonna be home. I get that. Okay, I understand that. I'm not anti-Americans coming back home. But the conditions in which that happens seem a little bit interesting. Also, it's really interesting in this Reuters piece, the the amount of stuff I had to read before I could get to the description of this guy, Victor Bott. It was like 7 or 8, 9, 10 maybe paragraphs down before they ever mentioned anything. It's just, oh, yay, Brittany Griner, oh, yay. Which I understand, but also they didn't talk about this dude and how probably lopsided of a trade this is for a very long time. Towards the end of the article, they finally said for almost 2 decades, Bout became the world's most notorious arms dealer, selling weaponry to rogue states, rebel groups, and murderous warlords in Africa, Asia, and South America. For experts on Russian security services, Moscow's lasting interest in Bott hit strongly at Russian intelligence ties. Okay, in terms of level of importance, it's an optics thing for Brittany Griner and an actual tactical advantage for Russia. Not entirely sure how that world works. Now, maybe this guy, Victor Bott, will be conscripted into the military. Maybe he will be sent to Ukraine to go get blown up. That'd be great. Maybe that'll happen, but probably not. And then, of course, there's a lot of people making this claim. So this is another, just in terms of, was this a fair deal for the United States and all that sort of stuff? Listen to Joe Biden. So Joe Biden knows that some of the heat is going to be coming on him. So listen to how he comes to the podium and talks about this. So it's kind of interesting that he knows how much heat is going to come from this particular trade. Okay, sorry. Let me back up a little bit. Brittany Griner is not the only American citizen that Russia has. She's probably the most widely known because the media loves her because she's a lesbian woman who played in the WNBA, which they love talking about, all that stuff. But there's several other people that there's several other Americans that Russia has detained, and Joe Biden came outright and said, look, this is not the same as that. These are different. Watch this. Also, if you haven't already, would appreciate you clicking the little like button and the little share button. Would really appreciate you doing so. I know we're on a little bit early, just with all the things going on, just had to get here a little bit sooner than later. But check this out, and we'll discuss on the other side.
She wrote to me back in July. She didn't ask for special treatment, even though we've been working on a release from the day one. She requested a simple quote, please don't forget about me and the other American detainees. Please do all you can to bring us home. We never forgot about Brittany. We've not forgotten about Paul Whelan, who's been unjustly detained in Russia for years. This was not a choice of which American to bring home. We brought home Trevor Reed when we had a chance early this year. Sadly, for totally illegitimate reasons, Russia is treating Paul's case differently than Brittany's. And while we have not yet succeeded in securing Paul's release, we are not giving up. We will never give up.
Okay, whoa. So I got a second to read some of the comments in here. Holy cow, you guys are pissed. And I am too. And so Joe Biden also understands that she is not at top of mind for a lot of people, especially with, our particular freedom-loving persuasion, and made it clear, like, whoa, or at least tried to. Again, who knows what these conversations actually look like behind the scenes. But he basically tried to say, well, hold on. I need to get out in front of this. This is not the same as this and that and the other thing. Benny Johnson, a Turning Point USA contributor, and I think he hosts a show on Newsmax as well, tweeted this: meet Brittany Griner and Marine Paul Whelan. Both Americans. Both were convicted in Russia court on dubious charges. Both serving multi-year sentences in Russian prison. Brittany hates America. Paul served America. Guess which one Biden traded a terrorist for? That sort of argument holds a lot of ground. And I don't know. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I will say, like I said in the beginning, I don't want any Americans being captured abroad, regardless of whether or not I agree with them politically. But yeah, this is interesting. This is an interesting thing to unfold. So we'll leave that there. We got a lot of stuff to get to. You know what? Speaking of, you know what? Okay, let's go to this. I want to get to this because I think this is pretty dang fascinating. Hunter Biden. So we talked about the Twitter files. Twitter files were released last Friday, showed all of the ways that the DNC, the Biden camp, the Trump camp even, were trying to coordinate with Twitter to get things taken down and all that sort of stuff, censorship, all whatever you want to call it. That's all fine. Now, yesterday on, what date? I don't even know what date it is. Tuesday on the OAN show that, again, I'm hosting in place of Dan Ball while he's out recovering from surgery. We talked about the main problem that I see with a lot of the stuff on the Twitter files that wasn't really talked about here. Now, the big thing that I think is actually super important regarding what was going on at Twitter. Okay, first of all, is the DNC coordinating with Twitter to take down tweets and censor the Hunter Biden story bad? Yes, it is. But given that they're both private entities, the illegality of it is a little bit fuzzy. Not entirely sure what the state or the government does to stop that sort of thing. Having said that, this is a big thing that I think people are not talking about, and I think they should. And that is not the DNC trying to coordinate, not the Biden campaign trying to coordinate with Twitter, but the FBI stepping in and putting their thumb on the scale. Now, watch this clip from Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, talking about the fact that the Hunter Biden laptop story is old news. Why are we even talking about this? Well, who knows? And then we'll kind of get into some of the actual story of what the FBI was doing during the Hunter Biden laptop saga to try and censor it, which, this is, if you had any faith in the FBI, you can probably say goodbye to it today. Actually, you know what? Let me rephrase that. If you had any faith in the FBI, this probably won't do anything to you, because I don't know how you still have any faith in the FBI, which is not a good thing, by the way. So anyways, check this out from the White House press briefing room. Also, if you haven't already, would really appreciate you clicking the like button and the little share button. Really, really does help us out. Just let us know in the comment section. Just engage with the post in any way, shape, or form, especially if you're watching on Facebook. Let us know what you think. Check this out.
Decisions were made to censor reporting leading up to the election. My question was, is it the White House view that these decisions were made appropriately in light of what has come out?
Which decisions? By whom?
By Twitter.
By Twitter on, okay. So, look, we see this as an interesting or a coincidence, if I may, that he would so haphazardly, Twitter would so haphazardly push this distraction. That is a full of old news, if you think about it. And at the same time, Twitter is facing very real and very serious questions about the rising volume of anger, hate, and anti-Semitism on their platform.
Which is probably not true. Adam Schiff tweeted, these groups are being targeted on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, dude, show me the proof. Like, you can say that all you want, but you can also probably say it knowing that it's not fact checkable by really anybody. So there's that. So this is my problem with the Hunter Biden laptop thing. Okay, so what we know, and this is a couple days old, but this has been difficult to get everything crammed in. But what we know is that the FBI was tapping Rudy Giuliani's phones and emails, okay, for a bunch of other reasons. We can talk about the legitimacy of that. That's a different thing. But what we know is the FBI was reading Rudy Giuliani's emails. The laptop store owner then took the laptop to Rudy Giuliani to give it to him, because he's like, this is Hunter Biden's laptop. This is a big thing. He left it here. It is officially mine now. Mr. Giuliani, how can you help me out? The FBI saw the communication between the laptop repair shop owner and Rudy Giuliani and said, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then in 2019, we know this from a bunch of different depositions that we won't get into, the FBI, from tapping Rudy's email, found out where the computer repair shop was. They visited the computer repair shop, and they authenticated that the Hunter Biden laptop was in fact real. So because of all that, we know that the FBI knew that the Hunter Biden laptop was in fact legit. Here's the problem, and here's where it gets sticky. This guy named Yoel Roth, who was a Twitter censorship guy, in a sworn testimony, said that the FBI came to him about a year after they verified the Hunter Biden laptop was true and said, hey, there might be some sort of misinformation about Hunter Biden. We're not going to tell you what it is, but there might be, maybe, possibly, some sort of misinformation that happens to leak regarding Hunter Biden, and we're not going to tell you what it is. Here's the problem. We know now that the FBI knew the Hunter Biden laptop was real, so why were they warning Twitter about some sort of misinformation regarding Hunter Biden? Conveniently, very, very close to when the Hunter Biden laptop was released and therefore subsequently censored by Twitter and Facebook and all of the other social media platforms. Why did that happen? This is the most concerning thing to me. The FBI getting involved and putting their thumb on the scale of an election in order to make things go the direction that they want them to go. That, to me, is the most concerning part about all of this. Does that make sense? The FBI knew that the laptop was legit, and instead they decided to tell Twitter, for some reason or another, that it wasn't. That's a problem. When you have the DNC and Twitter engaging and all that sort of stuff, is it incredibly dishonest? 100%. But they are private entities, and you can either choose to trust those private entities or not. But when a state actor, the FBI, gets involved on behalf of the American people, by the way, that is when it becomes a massive problem. We will continue to kind of monitor this whole thing. I don't know that anybody from the FBI is going to be held accountable for any of this stuff, but I'm hoping they would. Let's move on to, you know what? Well, let's go here first. We'll end with the funny stuff. There is the San Francisco city of San Francisco is giving free money to trans people, and the application to receive that money is hilarious. I'm sure you've heard that story before, but I want you to. We're going to collectively try to pronounce some of the gender identities and have a good time doing it. But anyways, before that, today, the military, actually yesterday, the military said bye-bye to the vaccine mandate. The COVID shot, no longer a necessary thing for the U.S. military. I believe this is from the Washington Post. The Biden administration fumed Wednesday at the near certainty that Congress will strip away the Defense Department's requirements for all military personnel to be vaccinated from the coronavirus, upending a politically divisive policy that led to the dismissal of nearly 8,500 service members and numerous lawsuits disputing its fairness. Holy cow, I guess I didn't realize there were that many people dismissed from the U.S. military for not wanting to get the shot. Now, if we're being fair here and making a fair-minded argument, there are a lot of shots and vaccines and different things that the military is required to take that normal citizens aren't. But in a lot of ways, those make sense. Those are, you're going to foreign lands and engaging with viruses that just aren't here, and you're required to get a bunch of shots. If the jab for the COVID-19 was such that it stopped spread and stopped you from getting it, there would be a reasonable argument to make for mandating it throughout the military, because obviously if you have this thing running through the barracks, that would be a problem if you're trying to run, the Marine Corps. But none of that stuff is accurate, in which case people who are in the military, I guarantee you, have almost zero risk statistically from COVID-19. And on top of that, the adverse effects. So there's all of that. Regardless, though, of the non-necessary shot for the Marines, KJP was from the White House press briefing room, again angry about the fact that they're no longer going to require something that should never have been required in the first place, probably. Check this out. This is kind of interesting to watch their perspective over there at the White House. Check it out.
What we think happened here is Republicans in Congress have decided that they rather fight against the health and well-being of our troops than protecting them, and we believe that it is a mistake. What we saw happen on the NDAA as it relates to the vaccine mandate.
So she and the White House are not cool, but I don't know. Well, we'll see. So bottom line is Republicans are pushing this through the defense budget bill if you guys want any funding, you're going to get rid of this stuff. Arthur says reinstate with back pay. I would agree on that. And that, again, that's with 8,500 service members dismissed for not getting it. Jabron says, KJP, still ignorant. Wow, you guys are mean in the comment section. Let's see. And then Jennifer on YouTube, interestingly enough, says, glad they're getting rid of that mandate. Yep, a lot of us are. So there's that. That is, well, coming down the pike, and we'll see see what happens with the White House and Congress and all that sort of stuff. All right, here we go. Here's this. Here's ending the show on a funny, playful note. You've no doubt heard probably of the transgender bill in San Francisco. This is a bill that would allow, I don't know if it's a bill. I don't know what they call the city stuff. The city of San Francisco is giving free money, universal basic income, to transgenders. Okay. Here, let me read you actually what the actual numbers are, because we can go through the various degrees of what you can get before we start talking about the naming. San Francisco's transgender guaranteed income program application provides 130 genders and pronoun options, and encourages enrollees to check all that apply. The guaranteed income for transgender people, the GIFT. I don't think that acronym. Okay. Program will provide 55 economically marginalized transgender people who have a monthly income of less than $600, with $1,200 a month for a year and a half. Okay, so sorry, just to get to the basis here. There are people that live in San Francisco that make less than $600 a year. How is that feasibly possible? So if you make less than $600 a month, you're going to get money, according to San Francisco. Enrollees can make a maximum of $4,000 a month and still be enrolled in the program, according to the program's website. So that $600 a month is negated by the next line in this. Pronoun options, and this is where it gets funny. Pronoun options include zai, zim, ziz, fey, fair, fairs, and te, ter, ters. Okay? Under the gender identity category, applicants can choose from any of the options, including aggressive, which is interesting. Holy cow, this is from the New York Post, by the way. This is not me. Which includes identities claimed by some African American and Latino masculine and center lesbians, according to the University of Florida LGBT Affairs Office. Genderf is another option in the gender identity category, which is the idea of playing with gender cues to purposely confuse stereotypical gender expressions, usually through clothing, according to the University of University of Connecticut Rainbow Center. Another option is Two-Spirit, which is the identity labeled used in American Indian and Canadian First Nations indigenous groups to describe the individuals possessing masculine and feminine spirits. Other genders include, other gender identities include feminine of center, demigirl, boy, but B-O-I, not sure what that is, and tomboy. And here are two that we're going to play. You two can play along at home. Jeez, and I'm looking at some of the comments, and these are hilarious. Tammy says the obvious. How many people are going to lie to just get money? I don't know. Personally, Tammy, I identify as one, living in San Francisco. Two, I identify as making less than $600 a month. And three, I identify as these things that you're going to see on the screen. All right, folks, what do we think about these? Somebody try to pronounce these words. I know that you're not having a video or audio, but just at home by yourself, try to pronounce these two options that exist on the transgender income thing from San Francisco. You can choose these. Either one of these is something that you can choose. Kahaneth and Exaneth. Kahaneth and Exaneth are two genders that you can choose. And also, Nina Upo Skits Ipixie. Nina Upo Schizopixie. That is a gender expression that you can pick if you decide to apply for transgender minimum wage stuff. I don't even know. I don't know. I'll bring this back up, but I did pull up a page about what is manly-hearted women. Okay, sorry. So Nina Upo Schizo's Pixies is described as okay. I'm going to stop before. Apparently, it's manly women. I don't know why that differentiates anything between tomboy, but that's that. Geez, some of the comments in here are pretty dang funny, and also just so mean. Oh, and there we go. I can bring this on. Invented languages. Okay. Yep. And then Jabron. Jabone. There's no R in there. These folks are just bizarre. Yes, it is. Gisela says, it's an interesting point here. Feelings are not genders. These people have major mental issues or mommy and daddy issues. You know what? I think that's probably the most accurate. I talk to my wife about this a lot. She is a marriage and family therapist and talks about the effects of trauma. And in most cases, it would appear that trauma is kind of the main driver in people being just very, very confused. Michelle just says, what? These are ridiculous. And I would have to agree. So there's that. Susan says, I've decided to identify as being disgusted with the government. I like it. All right, cool. So there's that. And if you choose to identify as living in San Francisco, making less than $600 a month, and any of the 130 gender options, you too can get some amount of money from San Francisco if you're in that 55 people that get it. Well, I feel like that's ending on a good note. By good note, I mean a weird note. That's going to do it for us today. Appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. If you haven't already, would appreciate you clicking the little like button and the little share button. Also, if you don't, you can follow me on any of your social media platforms. Like I said, this month, December in general is just a wild month for myself, going all over the place, doing all of the things. But you can keep up with anything that I'm doing on any of your social media platforms. Just type in Jobob, pretty much any social media platform, you'll be able to find me. At the Jobob Show, also be able to find. Sorry, the Chiron on Facebook is wrong. Just type in Jobob, you'll be able to find me pretty much anywhere. I guess couple announcements things. I am on day 3 of guest hosting Real America on OAN with Dan Ball. He's out for a couple days, but I have a cable news show for the next 2 days, which is a wild thing to think of. It's an hour long. You can watch pretty much all of the segments on Rumble, but also you can sign up for OAN Plus, I believe, and subscribe there and watch all of the shows that OAN has to offer, including myself, the next 2 days, again, filling in for the great Dan Ball. Let's see. Oh, shoot. According to a booker, and this blows my mind right now, I'm going to be on Fox News later this evening on the late night show with Trace Gallagher that I think airs at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, which is the first time going on Fox News, which is blowing my mind that all of this is still happening. So, if you get a chance to check it out, if you get Fox, if you get OAN, would appreciate tuning in, saying hi via the cable internet, all of that sort of stuff. And would appreciate it. Let's see. Anything other than that, I think we're good. Jennifer says, congrats on your OAN opportunity. Really appreciate that. Thanks, Dan Ball, for trusting me with the reins to the show for the week. I'll see you through the tubes the next couple days. I think we're still here tomorrow in San Diego, and then we'll be back to the dingy bunker on Monday, I believe. But that's going to do it for us. We appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. See you tomorrow. God bless America.